the reason why they follow this action that they follow this kind of intention and understanding of life. That's the third one. The last one drives our livelihood. Ashley, or who does drive livelihood? What's mean?
What is it?
Drive livelihood.
Livelihood?
Yeah, what's mean? Why?
Because if you're not, your livelihood is going against Buddhist tradition.
No, in general.
Oh.
In general, why? Let's say when you are drug dealers, when you are weapon dealers, what happens?
Oh, okay. You take the chance of poisoning other people, and it's like, well, they can die, overdose.
Yeah.
A lot of people do.
Yeah. That is why in one of the what we call Buddhism-Part precept, Buddhism-Part conduct for the one who want to practice Buddhism-Part, I told you before. That's one of the precepts. It says that you cannot open liquor store. You understand that? Why? Why? You cannot. If you follow that precept, that Buddhism-Part precept.
You're not having a good you're not really having good intention. Your intention's good to have a business, but you're harming everybody.
Yeah.
So it's messing up your livelihood.
When you open the liquor store, maybe people buy your liquor, right? Your alcohol, and they drink on the street there. Yes, sir.
I just had a quick question on action. Was there any teaching or anything like that justifies like a justified killings or stealings? Like, is there any instances like protecting the family or anything like that?
Remember, in Buddhism, there's some exceptions.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's say, have we talked about abortion yet? Not yet. What do you think? In most tradition, right, we go against abortion, right? Yes?
I would guess that it would be if it was for the harm of the mother, maybe?
What?
For the harm of the earth, it might be justified.
Yeah, in Buddhism, even the fetus, right, is still considered as a human. Even it has not developed in the full way yet. It's going to say first month, second month, and so forth. So they have to consider both, not for the mother, but also the child. Yes.
So, like, when do Buddhists believe that the soul inhabits, I guess, the fetus? Is it at conception, or is that debated?
In my point of view, as long as they recognize this unborn child there, you understand that? As long as you go to this doctor and doctors say, oh, you have a child. Make sense? If you don't know, that's different. You see, intention there. You see that? If you don't know. Well, recently I think Vietnam, a couple of weeks ago, there's one Catholic nun. She was pregnant and she delivered a child in Brazil. Is that right? In South America, and she said she doesn't know that she was pregnant. It's not big news, and the Catholic orders kick her out to, of course, other people's sympathy. Again, as much you know, there's human there. You understand that? Don't dominate. That's a spoon. This is common sense, right? But how about this? You're pro-choice or what? For choice for life, right? How many do pro-choice here? Okay. How about pro-life? Okay.
I think it depends on the situation.
Yeah, it depends on the situation. Everything depends on the situation. Try your best not to harm. And if it's sometimes life is some exceptions, understand that? So Buddhism is so flexible with this type of principle, but you have to understand the root of the problem, not to harm others. Right? Everyone wants to be happy. Yes, sir.
Are there punishments for that?
Your and in Buddhist point of view, yes, your conscience.
Conscience, okay.
Of course, when you deliver a child and you kill a human, right? But when you still have the feelings, that may go against your conscience, right? So you're the one who made the choice, not others.
Or the karma, some women that get abortions can't get pregnant later when they want to.
You can say that. Right? Yes.
So like, how does that work if, like, okay, if you terminate a pregnancy, does the child, like, does the soul inhabit another fetus or like body?
Yeah,
It's
but
getting complicated,
yeah,
but-
this is now we're talking about. Actually, I forgot to put that that question in the previous bit of the topics. Still interesting, right? But anyway, let's put this way: depend on the soul, or depend on what we call the spirit, or the consciousness of that unborn child. Sometimes they may be angry. Sometimes they're so innocent. They may move on. Sometimes they may cling back. They may harm the mothers, the parents, because of the hatred. You understand that? If someone tries to harm you, you understand? You have that kind of hatred. You have that kind of resentment. Makes sense? But some in Buddhist view, it's still complicated. It's pretty complicated. Sometimes they may have that kind of resentment. Sometimes they're innocent. But anyway, regardless of their mind, you have to take full responsibility of your action. That's all. Right? Whether you want to terminate or not, that's your choice. Whether you pro-choice or life, that's your choice. Not all people's choice. Yes?
One question. So, what if somebody invades your home and you kill them in self-defense?
That's the other choice, the aspect too. I told you. Yes, self-defense is common sense, right? Common sense in other aspects of life. And I bring this kind of topic again and again. How about a Buddhist? Can they be soldier? Can they serve in the army, in the navy, and so on? Can they?
No.
So who protect country?
No, I know.
Who protect the country? If no one serve in the army, navy, and so forth.
Okay.
What do
Yeah,
you think?
I saw that there were Buddhist samurais.
Yeah.
It's not intention. If your intention is to protect, then it's okay.
Remember.
What if your country is dirty? Like, what if you live in a country and you're a Buddhist and you go to be in their war, but their war doesn't have good intentions? I mean,
That's common to be born in that country too. Yeah, actually, this is the topic.
karma mappa has like.
Yeah, this is a topic. This is an interesting topic that when we met Dalai Lama last May, and some of our Buddhist monks asked Dalai Lama, Tibetan people are so nice, so gentle, they show so compassion. So how could they have this kind of karma? You understand that, right? You understand the situation in Tibet nowadays, right?
Right.
And when Dalai Lama, he explained, well, remember that this type of Tibetan people who live in Tibet now, they share, remember I told you about collective karmas? Now. So probably in many past lives, they have raised some kind of karmas, and they were not Tibetan for 1,000 years, for 1,000 lifetimes. You understand that? You got my point now? So because of their karmas, they were born in that country to repay that karma. Makes sense now? So let's say 10 lifetimes before, 100 lifetimes before, they were not Tibetan. They may be American people, or who know about them. But because of the collective karma, they were born as bad people nowadays. So they have to endure this kind of suffering. This is Buddhist view. Is that clear now? Right? When you were born in the country that's fighting, that's your karma too. I was born in Vietnam during the war. But in my life, I never carry a gun. Real
But
one.
in your past life, you were bad.
I don't know. But I never carry a gun. Real one. Real one. Because actually, the years that they most brought me into the army, I escaped from Vietnam to the Malaysia camp. During the 80s, I was one of the bold people. So in my life, I never carry a gun. Even I was born in that times. Of course, many of my friends, my parents and my relatives, they involved in this type of fighting. Yes. Yes.
Well, kind of along like that same rationale, like, do you believe that people who are born with disease or maybe born into poverty, do you believe that's previous karma?
Remember, yes. And in Buddhist view, yes, there's certain kind of karma that they may have that kind of disease too, that kind of poverty too. But remember, no matter what situation we are, we have the will to change. Is that right? We don't say, oh, this is my fate, and we surrender for that kind of fate. Amen? You understand that? So we have the will to change. Remember, the handicapped people, they have the will to run, or to ride the bicycle, or what you call the wheel,
Wheelchair. Wheelchair.
A wheelchair. You see that they have the will. The will comes from the right person there.
My friend was born in Ukraine, and she was born like really deformed from radioactivity, I guess from the war. And she almost died in an orphanage, but an American couple, like, they adopted her, and now this year, and I think the Olympics, she's been in the Olympics for the past, and it's gotten bronze and silver medals, for America.
Really?
It's like, isn't that cool?
Wow,
Yeah.
that's good.
She has deformed hands and no legs. It's so cool.
Yeah, many handicapped people visit our monastery in Corden, and they work now. They have a job now. And I remember when it was college, one of the students, the handicapped student, he wrote by using his feet.
You drew by using his feet.
Yeah.
You draw.
I think you have seen, right? But that's one of my other students I met at my university. You see that? That's the mind. That's the will. It's the determination. Can change your karma, right? So yes, you were born in poverty. You have some kind of performance in your faculties. You still have the will. You understand that? Okay. So again, let's just move on. So livelihood is so important, right? You need to. We need to pick up. We need to follow the major that can be helpful, that can be beneficial for ourselves and others. I used to tell my own story. I told you that I got a BS degree in engineering, electrical engineering, right? In 1990, I graduated from Penn State University. During those times, we had the war in Kuwait. You know that, right? And it's been a temptation. This is temptation. At that time, even me, I'm talking about myself, to listen to Army, Navy, and so forth, because they gave the big bonus. Especially when the Navy came to our school, the state college, they interviewed many of us, the one who go to graduate from engineer degree, especially electrical engineer, that okay, you can be captain of a submarine, and they give you a big bonus. But for me, it is scary, so I skipped that kind of career. You understand that? So anyway, it's just your choice, especially in this country. Unless your karma lead you to live in the environment that's killing everywhere. Yes.
So, were you not a monk then?
No. I graduated from Penn State in 1990. I became a monk 1 year after. I didn't have any experience.
Could that person's family karma, like could it be like a family thing? Like let's say your father was a horrible person and he killed millions of people. Would that karma come onto his kids or
Yeah.
really?
Collective karma. Remember we
Oh,
talked about
collective
that
karma.
karma?
Okay.
It's affect, it affect to you too, right?
Okay.
Just like like if
Every-
people say they're cursed or the family has a curse on them because they constantly they're just always their whole entire family's always poor or like.
It's common sense, right? It's really common sense. Like what's the daughter of Clinton's, what is her name? The daughter of Clinton.
Chelsea.
She's been here before, right? Probably last year or year before. She came here to give a speech. I don't know whether you're aware or not. Anyway, she was born, right, with that family. She's famous because of her parents. You see that? Of course, on the other hand, right, if some children were born in a family that parents taking drugs, selling drugs, it's feel horrible. So that's what we call karmic karma. Is it clear? This is common sense, right? Again, to your career. The reason why I advise some of my young students that, okay, when you work in healthcare career, in education, still good. Most of the time, you have people. Of course, there's some crooked people, some people that they may even this is good career, right? But they find others, right? In healthcare, right? Even in education too. So depend upon your education. But in general, in healthcare and education is pretty good for people to pursue, right? Be careful about other major career that may bring a lot of others. Okay, so the reason why livelihood is so important. Yeah. Okay. All right. So now the next one, Joey, what do you have for right effort? So again, sorry before we go on. So here, morality. Remember, I don't know. Other tradition, they may not touch much about this idea, right? Right understanding about life, right intention, right? But most of the tradition mention about morality, right? It makes sense, right? Regardless of the faith you follow. But sometimes if we don't understand why we need to restrain ourselves from killing students, cheating, and so forth. Sometimes we think that we are forced to do. Is that right? We have to do. We're forced to do. Make sense? And what happens if there's so much temptation, right, that we cannot resist? We may violate them. Make sense now? But if we understand about our mind, if we understand about our karma, we have better chance to deal with our temptations. Make sense now?
Meditation.
Huh?
Meditation.
Yeah, we talk about that later on. Yeah. You understand now? So again, if someone forces us to do this and that, then it's not easy for us to handle for long periods of times. But if we understand why we keep that, if we understand why we need to restrain from killing and so forth, we train our mind, we train our conduct, we train our speech in the proper way. Is it clear? Make sense? So again, yeah, let's just move on. Try effort. Joy, what do you have them?
Is there 4 kinds of effort?
Yes.
The first one is effort to walk and avoid bad habits,
Yes.
such as like laziness or smoking, something like that. But once you have that bad habit, you need an effort to get out of the bad habit.
Good. Yeah.
Okay. And the third one
Yes.
is effort to build and have a good habit. And then once you have that good habit, you need to keep that good habit. So that's the 4.
Can you give example?
Like example, good habit.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like
Help people.
like yeah, maybe.
You have New Year resolution? Do you have all or just the ideal one? Of you, most of you have some kind of a New Year resolution? You have, what do you have? Can you share or just as a secret?
Mine was to lose weight
Okay.
or stop smoking.
Oh, really? Okay, how about you?
No, I didn't make any.
Oh, who want to share your New Year resolution? No? Okay, what do you have then?
Well, I quit smoking last summer. And
Oh, really?
It was my resolution to keep not smoking. So
That's good. Is there a lot of temptation when you stop by the gas station?
yeah, or drinking coffee, or
That's healthy. This is for your health. Again, because how about keep it up, just change your habit, right? So the right effort here, there's three pair. First pair is if we have done the bad this, right? If we have made some mistake, try to stop, right? The second one, if we have not done any kind of bad this, if we have not done anything wrong, it's better not to do. It's simple, right? That's the first pair. You follow that? Okay. The second pair is if we have not done the good deeds yet, do it now. And if we have done, try to do more. The two pair. Makes sense now? Right? So it's like in any aspect, like change our habit of smoking, drinking, and so forth. Right? So this effort encourage us to change the worst one to the better one. Yeah.
Yeah, I do recall emphasizing on just being a better person. Just being a better person. I don't think it was a New Year's resolution, but I kind of wanted to, pretty much do that, just be a better person this year than I was last year.
Yeah, that's all. Yeah, we want to improve ourselves, improve our knowledge, right? Improve our skill, right? Right? In any aspects of life, right? Improve our speech, right? Public speaking, for example, right? And so forth depend upon. So life was so important. And again, as much just be helpful, be beneficial, not bring any harm to others. You understand that? So it's so important. So again, okay. So the next one, concentration. What do you have, Kevin?
I had the term samadhi,
Samadhi.
and it's the mental concentration composing the mind.
Yeah.
And when somebody develops it, their mind loses all pollutants, and it makes them more in tune with nature, calm and tranquil. And there are 4 types of concentration to develop with each with their own goal. The first is a pleasant abiding in your life. The second is the knowledge and divine eye. This is achieved by concentrating on light. The third is mindfulness and clear comprehension, which is achieved by concentrating the mindfulness and rise and fall of feelings and perceptions and thoughts. And the last is the destruction of taints, which is by concentrating on the rise and fall of the 5 aggregates.
Wow, it's really good. Probably you may need to discuss more.
Well,
about
with
that topic.
one thing that I read about is that with each of these levels, you develop certain powers, but in focusing on the powers, you actually do not achieve the level. If that is the goal you go into.
Yeah, what do you call meditation? Hence, there's many different levels. But we talk about that next week. Next week is very interesting. So I hope that you would attend next week because topic next week is so important. Yeah, meditation. Yeah. I put. Let me skip for a while. Okay, let me skip this one and go back. This is a topic I like. You don't need to write out, right? But you may about that before we end the class. So before you pick up the next topic for next week. It's be interesting. Okay, look at here. I have 12 items for you to choose. First one, mindfulness deal with all this. Oh, sorry. Can you see? Can you see it? So I need to erase it. Okay. If you work in healthcare, here, mindfulness in deal with mental affliction, stress, anxiety, and so forth. Meditation in school, and any level. Meditation in healthcare, in business, in politics, in law, practice, military, in sport, in meditation. Especially this here. It's very interesting. This is topic that I'm going to teach in the honor class. The meditation, mindfulness, that is multidisciplinary application. It's very important in our daily life. So meditation or mindfulness practice for everyone nowadays, not only for the Buddhists, but for everyone. Think about that before we end, okay? Let's go back. Okay, now. And probably you may talk about this story that I just told you. May talk more about that, okay? Let's go back here. Okay, now, some of you wrote about blood concentration too, right? Can you share? Or no? Besides Kevin? Okay. So that's what it just say. Why concentration is so important? And what's wrong with wrong concentration? Yes.
Well, the wrong concentration, from my understanding, like meditation is to strive towards nirvana. I mean, well,
That's okay.
well, you know, okay, like the wrong kind of concentration would lead to you may have attachments.
Okay.
Attachments that could cause you not to focus on the nature of reality.
Yeah. Evidence. I'm sorry to interrupt you. Evidence is based on this one. This pair, suffering and happiness. Peacefulness. Right or wrong?
Right.
In conventional way, right? Sometimes this may be right from nowadays, but in the future may be wrong. Is that right? And sometimes it's wrong in the past, but now it's maybe right. But right and wrong here in the conventional notion of in Buddhist view, whether you bring suffering to yourself, whether you bring the suffering or happiness to yourself and others. That's what we talk about right and wrong here.
But some suffering has good intentions.
Give me one example.
I don't know, like you said with the kids, or, I mean, it might be their viewpoint of suffering, like going to high school and having like 7 hours of homework after school.
That's
but
tough.
but you'll end up reaching happiness through your suffering.
And even we have not talked about what do you call this is related to, it's not commit suicide, but people if they have severe illness and they want to
Euthanasia.
what do you say?
Euthanasia.
Yeah, that's right. What do you think about that?
I think it's their choice.
Huh?
I think it's their choice.
Their choice, yeah. So
Because they're the ones that suffer.
again, so please remember, right and wrong here in Buddhist view, according to the notion of suffering and long-term suffering, not short-term. Long-term happiness, not short-term happiness. For ourselves and others, not only for ourselves, right? They want to do drugs. They have happiness. They get the joyfulness from their money, right? But in the long run, they bring their own suffering. They bring their own downfall, right? And vice versa. Is that clear now? So again, let's go back here. What's mean by wrong concentration? Go back to the question. Yes.
If you're focused on something that somebody does that really irritates you, like and you're focusing on how much you can't stand it, how much you don't like that person, then you're creating a lot of bad energy about what you think about that person. And then the next time you talk to that person, you might say something unkind. And so then your intention affects your speech and even your action.
Yeah.
Just because you're focusing something negative. So if you
Yeah.
think of somebody in a negative way and then you take it and think of a positive about them instead of focus on that, then the next time you see them, you won't be angry with them.
Yeah. Okay. Hence, I forgot to mention one more thing. Why we need to focus on mind? Why we need to concentrate on mind? Why?
To stop
Yeah,
stop
distraction,
distractions.
right? Confusion. Remember, we talked about the idea of doing multitask, right? We get used of doing many things at a time, right? Remember, we talked about that or not?
Do many things badly.
No, do many things at a time. Eating while watching TV, right? Eating while talking on the telephone, right? Driving, texting. You see that? What's wrong? What's wrong while we're driving, texting?
Lose concentration.
Yeah, that's the point here. In the split second, right? We have seen, for you, right? You have seen many video clips about some bus driver, right? They tax and they hit on the car, right? You seen, right? It's common. So in this day, have they passed that law yet? The driving that passed
Well,
that yet?
they're trying to. They have them in some states. If police see you taxing and driving, they can give you a ticket, I think it is.
In other states, in New Jersey and even California, whenever they see you here, hold it
Hold the
with
phone,
cell
yeah.
phone, they may give you a ticket too. And then make you mark over there.
I think if you're texting and driving,
Fine you for wrecking your car.
Yeah.
Ohio, they find you even if you wreck your car.
Really?
Yeah, because I wrecked in Ohio and they gave me almost a $300 ticket for wrecking my car.
Wow, you hit
For
some
failure
trees?
to, no, I just hit the concrete barrier
Uh-huh.
because the car was in my blind spot and I turned my turn signal to get over and I couldn't see them and I started to come over and they honked the horn and I kind of swerved and hit the curb and they gave me a $300 fine for failure to control my vehicle. I wasn't on my cell phone or anything.
Wow.
Let me see.
I think if you're on your cell phone or if they can prove that you were texting and driving, you caused an accident and you ended up killing someone, I believe it's considered manslaughter.
Actually, these days, somehow they did more easy for two people, right? go to other states. Again, concentration is so applicable, right? In class, right? When we discuss this kind of topics, if you let your mind fly back to your house, your shopping center, and so forth, you get lost. Is that right? So concentration is going like your teacher, right? Your professor wake you up. So it's common sense, right? This is so important. This kind of concentration. But what happened to us nowadays? Do we still have ability to concentrate ourselves, or was so many things distract ourselves? Compared with the people, I mean, that 100 years, 200 years ago, what do you think?
I think we have more distractions now.
Cell phone, iPod, yes.
Programming, more distracted.
Yeah.
Pop-up ads, TVs changing every 3 seconds.
Yeah, music, so all kind of stimulation, right? So distract. So we have a chance, we have the choice to be distracted, to be confused, or we have the choice to be focused. Our choice, right? The reason why Buddhism having concentration on point. Again, but we have to have the right one, not the wrong one. Like some of you said, right? If you focus on the one that you may not like much, right? You create that kind of energy, negative energy in yourself. And when you see that person, you know what happened. And of course, you know that the children, they like to play games. Hours and hours, or even days and days, right? They have concentration there, but somehow they enjoy violent games, right? Fighting games and so forth. They train their mind to be fighter. You see that? And so again, dry concentration is so important. Plus, let me see here. Okay, we still have time. Now, remember I told you this here. The pendulum again. Like this life. The transformation that's one. Okay, now what happens if you focus on the one you love the most? Yes, attachment. Can you concentrate? Well, when you think about that person too much, when you focus on that person, can you focus? You can, right? Yeah. And what happens when you attach to that person? What happens? And on the other hand, like you say, yes.
You lose focus on the reality of everything else.
Okay. Yes.
If you like them so much that you can oversee their bad qualities.
That's the point. You get to see only one side of the coin. And on the other hand, right, like you say, if you focus on the one, your enemy, right? What happens? Rejection, fighting, is that right? Resentment and so forth. Make sense now? So if you swim either way, either side, what happens? Due to a what? You still have that kind of emotional fluctuation. Is that right? Either you hate that person or you attach to that person. You see only one side of the coin. So the reason why in dry concentration, you better choose the topic that remains the neutral one, so that it can reduce the real fluctuation in your mind, in your emotion. Is that clear now? Right? So the reason why we have many topics, many subjects for people to concentrate their mind on. We will discuss about that after the mindfulness now. Amy, you have what's with mindfulness?
Yes. They say it's also called awareness.
Yes.
Awareness of the reality of things, especially in the present moment.
Yeah.
And it's like he said, it's a power. Like once you really practice at it and knowing about your surroundings, calm, awareness of your body and feeling and mind, and it creates a rise in like wisdom when you become closer to enlightenment. But it's one of the biggest parts of enlightenment. It said on the website that I was looking at.
You have something to add more?
That's basically what she said, and the mindfulness in Buddhist is achieved through the meditation. And I like the part where it said, to begin meditating is by just focusing on breathing and just inhaling and exhaling to clear the mind of attachments. And I remember when I was reading last night, and I couldn't focus.
Really? What happened?
So I did the breathing, and I jumped right back into it. I was like, man, that really works. And so I did that. I concentrated just on breathing, inhaling and exhaling, and I really couldn't see. I was experiencing some anxiety, and so when I did that, all that stuff went away. I was able to read.
Yeah.
Yeah, they said they're starting to use it in psychology to alleviate a variety of mental and physical conditions, obsessive compulsive disorder, anxiety, and the prevention, relapse, and depression and drug addiction, which is
Next week, that reason why I say that next week, please, if you can be here, we discuss about this kind of topics, how mindfulness is so applicable in all aspects of life nowadays. Right? And again, the other name for concentration is samatha, or mindfulness is insight. But let me sum up briefly. Let me we don't have to think. What's the difference between these two? Who can?
Insight is wisdom.
Wisdom, both them provide wisdom too. What's different between mindfulness and concentration? What's different?
What is the samatha? What does that mean?
That's the name. That's the sacred term for concentration, right concentration.
Oh, okay.
Inside, that's the term for right mindfulness.
Okay.
Okay. So what is different between these two? Are they different or they same? Of course they're different. Yes, sir.
Concentration is more internal, whereas mindfulness is more external awareness.
Not really. Both of them are internal too, but the different function. Yes. Yeah.
Insight is okay. Wisdom. That's like we'll have to leave that alone.
Okay. So let me
Okay.
briefly. Mindfulness. Okay. Now let's see. You concentrate on talking with your friends. That's one. You concentrate on studying math. One. You concentrate on cooking. And that's the concentration, right? But let's say now it's time for most time, right? So now it's time for you concentrate in class, but the next one you concentrate on your, let's say, walking or eating. So mindfulness means series of concentration. Whichever you do, in other terms, do one thing at a time. Concentrate one thing at a time. Make sense? Is that clear? Okay, so next week we talk more, and this will be interesting. And again, next week I may discuss briefly how concentration support the wisdom. Without concentration, you could not have that kind of wisdom. Okay. All right. Let me go get back to the topic. I have 12 topics, so you will.